Well, good morning, everybody. At least on the East Coast, it is 11:46, and it's the first day of winter. Ugh, 21st December. Can you believe it? I don't know where the year went, but there you are. So, as you know, I started this last Sunday. It's going to be I am hopeful in every Sunday thing. Comments about comments. The idea of this is that as creating content and stuff and getting comments. Good morning, brother Jack Dawson. And so I get comments and things like that. And while through the week, I do try to at least react to them or maybe answer some here and there as time allows. I still very very much like the personal touch. So I kind of review some of the latest comments and talk about them and address things. And I hope that this is something that our baseball family here will like. Um, it just gives me a chance to really kind of address things. And then those of you who have posted comments, if you're not here, that's cool. You can always post on the post and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. So a new edition of things. Comments about comments. I probably should put baseball somewhere in the title because but then again, maybe some people might be, what is this comments about comments nonsense? Who is this person? Is it about the Beatles? So there we go. So, hey, wow. So here we are in the first day of winter, the shortest day of the year. So, as baseball fans, we can celebrate that beginning tomorrow, the days start getting longer, imperceptibly, of course, but nonetheless, they do as we begin our journey toward the vernal equinox. So, how cool is that? Yeah, spring. But I'm just waiting for that. Yeah, what is it? A few days after the Super Bowl or a week or so, pitchers and catchers report. All right. Boy, what a week has it been? If you play digital baseball sims, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. So, Out of the Park Baseball is on sale right now in the Steam Winter Sale and from the devs for $9.95. Um, for a profoundly deep, beautiful, powerful, create whatever the hell you want. If you can think of this project, you can do it. $9.95. You really cannot beat it. Yeah, it's a complex game. It can be with all the moving parts. It can be a bit off-putting, but if you persevere just a little bit, you've got yourself a game that is just going to reward you and reward you and reward you. This past year in Out of the Park Baseball, saw significant additions. The live scoreboards, which add to the ambiance of the game. The player development lab completely overhauled and expanded, which is just absolutely astounding and opens up incredible opportunities. And just I have no idea, what's going to be in 27. Looking forward, hoping to continue to be a beta tester for it, and I absolutely love the game. So last night, Craig Harris dropped a kind of really just a quick hot fix for Pocket Pen Run Baseball. So those of you who have it, get it. It was just a little glitch that the program was having difficulties with players who had the diacritic apostrophe in their name. So like O'Toole, O'Leary, whatever. So basically a pro-Irish patch, I would say. Hey, good morning to Andrew, who is listening while driving. Drive carefully, my friend. Andrew, of course, a beta tester for the game that we're going to get to next. And Christopher Slovic is in New York. He's in New York. So home for the holidays, brother. Hopefully, some leads are panning out for you. But boy, going from rather balmy Kampuchea, Cambodia to here. Welcome home, my friend. You are always missed, and hopefully, the most important part, of course, is you get back into your teaching and everything like that. 90 minutes until the last flight to the Berg. I am hoping, right? So, because boy, really miss your stuff, man. I really miss your stuff. Everybody's we're talking to you about you last night. We had our Red Sox fan on and RJO Network, and just talking about our favorite broadcasters. And so, high praise coming from three people who create content, two of which are really good broadcasters, Al and RJO Network. So let's talk about Action PC Baseball, which has garnered all kinds of comments. And then we'll get to some comments about StratMax. Even though I have ApaGo up here, I do have StratMax on the machine. But let's get into it. Comments about comments. I'm going to have to come up with some really kind of, I don't know, weird music or something for it. Okay, so our first one comes from Chris. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Chris Lavarone. If you say it in Italian, it's Lavarone. If you're an American Italian, you're going to drop it and just say Chris Lavarone, but it's Lavarone. And he says about Action PC Baseball 2026, fantastic addition. Manual entry is a big winner for him since he's a big cards and dice player via score sheet. He says, I use Digital Diamond for stat keeping, but I always hated the reports. Action has all the best of the other programs out there. And Legacy looks cool, though I haven't played it. Just bumming around in a game. Looking forward to see how it handles in a few years in a row. And that's a great comment, Chris. And I'm hoping perhaps next weekend's, it was going to depend a lot on my progress in the Michael T. McGreevy League, since I'm just kind of nudging back the beginning of that. But I hope to show a bit of messing around with Legacy, possibly next week. And I know from just hearing from Steve Tate, who is another beta tester, along with Andrew of Action PC Baseball, and also David Lando, who knows his baseball and a longtime member of a lot of the leagues that we have going on here. For Steve, Roberto Clemente actually in Legacy mode started. I guess he started his in 1971, and Clemente played until 74, retired. And David says that finished up 1920, moving into 1921, and the Black Sox are still on the Chicago White Sox. So he said, "Watch out, Yankees." So I mean, the way it works, of course, is that it uses the game's internal gaming engine. So be prepared for a very new kind of journey, and again, rewriting your own baseball narrative. And I think that's fun. And I think one of the coolest moves ever, and considering that Action PC is a baseball season or a baseball game that you do have to buy the seasons for, but Dave with his sales and packages and giveaways, and there's something I want to address at the very end that our Red Sox fan had brought up in the comments of one of his videos, and it was like unbelievable. An hour, but Al and I were both going off on the whatever this person was smoking is what I said. Blah. But anyhow, so you don't have to own the season after the seasons you're playing in Action PC Baseball. I mean, how cool is that, right? So, when Al was on last night, we were talking about you start in 1967, and right, so you finish 67. You set all the parameters. You get to set the parameters that you want in Legacy mode, things like that. And of course, I mean, there's the choice there for fictional rookies, but I only see that useful if you're starting in 2025 and you want to see if you can build a dynasty with these generated players, whatever. So that part doesn't attract me. But real rookies, and the real rookies will go to their proper teams. And you wouldn't have to own 1968. So I mean, I have everything for this game, or for Action PC. A lot of us do, or a great chunk of seasons. Many have that, in their wheelhouse of baseball or what have you. But just think about that, the possibilities that it opens up. I don't know how it would work, but if it's, I mean, the import of historical rookies. So it's not going to be something that's going to work well for, let's say, an all-time great teams or anything, because there's not a reference point for those rookies. But for season replays, and for somebody that I don't really concentrate as much on those. I've started a 1971 thing that I want to move into 72, 73. I want to see what the Bucks can do through the 70s. Again, they were a great team. This isn't like a big challenge, but I wanted to pick a team with which I'm really familiar. And the 71 Pirates, I think one of the best additions, maybe the best addition of the Pirates all time. Arguably, maybe the 1909 Pirates would be about as strong. I know a lot of people were raising the eyebrows. 19, but what about the 1979 Pirates? Great team, but the 71 Pirates, when you have that, you know, you have that conjunction of Roberto Clemente, Willie Stargell, you know, Al Oliver. You got Gene Clines that you could bring off the bench, or you know, just whatever. You had Bob Robertson, unsung hero, over at first base. You got Richie Hebner, who platooned over there at third. It's just going to be a fun team, and I wanted to just start with a season outside of dead ball baseball that I felt a lot more comfortable with. So yeah, so Chris Lavarone, thank you for that. That comment was a day ago, and man, I'm glad you're excited. So both manual entry and legacy mode, of course, are absolutely immense. For those of you that like to do, and Chris, this would be you. For those of you who like to do sort of playoff things, tournament things, and I like to do those too. There's you can now in Action PC Baseball. One of the smaller updates, but I think a very important update, is that you can play like an entire round or an entire bracket if you want in a tournament in a playoff mode. So maybe you want to just get through the first three brackets to get to your World Series or what have you, you know. And I think that's super, super, super cool. So love it. All right, brother Jack Dawson saying that Action PC 2026, 16 hours ago, posted that it looks good. And yeah, it really, really does. It really, really does. So thank you, Jack. And Jack always is. He also reports that he finished his fifth game of the 1992 Padres season. And just to make it short, my 1992 Padres can't work it out. I want to win as soon as possible. Final score: Dodgers 13, Padres 3. So Padres not off to a. It looks like they're off to an 0-5 start for Jack. Persevere, man. Persevere, buddy. All right. Tessier Aspol, he says, yep, shout out to Mortismo Gaming. I'd mentioned Mortismo Gaming last night in some capacity. So this was 3 hours ago from him. He says, nice mention. Love his CRPG reviews. Yeah. So if you play computer role playing games, which I do, many of us do, Mortismo Gaming, really, this guy does not review a game like a full review until he 100%s them. So you think about games that like the big, massive RPGs out there, like Baldur's Gate 3, which by the way I like so much. I originally bought in the PS5, and I bought on my new gaming PC. Or you think about Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader, or Wrath of the Righteous, right? And also Mortismo. I'm really, really big in the Divinity series. In fact, the next edition of Divinity looks dark. Looks like Larian is kind of moving away from the humorous approach to things into a darker RPG. And I, for one, am looking forward to it. So yeah, if you play CRPGs, you've thought about, you want to play some CRPGs, Mortismo Gaming, and he's a giant channel, man. He is an elephant to me, the humble little ant. But what a great, great channel it is. It's just fantastic. So check it out. You know, you want the best reviews on CRPGs, and he 100% things. Imagine how long it would take just one 100% run through of something like Rogue Trader or Baldur's Gate 3. And you're getting all the good, the nitty gritty. And it's not like he does, it's not there's spoilers. These are really excellent reviews. So glad you like that. All right, we got Tom Rooster here. So love this comment. Love all your comments. He says legacy mode is a major game changer for me. He says he's been doing his own mode, quote unquote, for 2 to 3 years now, along with the alternative mode. Legacy plus alternative will have me breaking my own rule about purchasing just released upgrades. This is so good. Remember, guys, none of these are solicited. I have nothing to do. I don't get a penny, anything. Dave Cook doesn't even know I exist. But this is a game I love every year, and that's a really really great thing to see here from Tom Rooster. Am I reading? Yeah, it's Tom Rooster. I'm sorry, I thought that said Thorn. But my eyes are still being a little bit wonky. Um, but because a lot of people, and rightfully so, will say, "Well, I'm going to wait till a game's patched up a bit." So Tom here, he's breaking his own rule and coming over to the dark side and saying, "Well, I'm going to get this is good," and he says this is too good. And when you think about Legacy and the alternative reality mode, which is really really fun and a viable way to play action PC baseball because it gives you more of a sense of what a real baseball manager faces going into the new season. Legacy gives you that as well. So excellent, excellent, excellent comment. Couldn't agree with you more. And you know what, guys? Let me just say really quickly that if you put up a comment, and I mean, again, well reasoned, you put up a comment I don't agree with, I'm still going to think it's excellent. I like the engagement. So this is so I'm not cherry picking here. That's why I have my YouTube studio comments up here so that so you guys can see that I'm not just cherry picking. All right, Fast Action Sports Desk, better known as Paul Fay. So for him, best looking digital baseball game as ever. He said manual game entry will need some tweaking, but a great start. And again, I agree, and I have to say um, I take I take that constructive criticism for Action PC Baseball very, very seriously. As Forever Remain joins us here from Germany. He said, from what he saw in Ron Juckett's video, is that the incoming rookies will get drafted and will not enter the league on their own teams. That is not my understanding. My understanding is that everything is hard coded into the game, but that's what I want to experiment with. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So there's different little schools of thought, but do remember, even if that's the case, and all of us that have been looking at this game, and Ron always does very thorough work and everything like that. You got to remember this game just came out Friday evening, earlier than it usually does. I was actually surprised to see that it released at 7 p.m. Eastern here. But we'll see. Forever Remain 90. But even so, um, even if it's that, I think that's going to be interesting. But I'm guessing that because the parameters that you can set in legacy mode, um, that you would be able to go ahead and do that. And there is a way, actually, there is a way, and I've shown how to do this, where you can basically just move those draft choices around. And for many many years, I've been saying that between the two titans, as far as the text-based baseball sims that, in my estimation, at least rule the roost, out of the park baseball and action PC baseball. Um, Action PC baseball is a lot easier to work with at the player level. Very easy to just move some people around, if worst case scenario. And then finally, Mick was talking about my PC. So I have two PCs. This gaming laptop I was actually using for musical production and using a virtual studio. I want to get back to Paul's thing in a second, but I do want to just get this last comment in. So yeah, this thing is loaded with lots of virtual studio instruments and stuff like that, which are resource hogs. And there's constantly running license checking registries like iLock and Pace and stuff like that. But I haven't migrated any baseball into my new gaming PC, which I bought like I think in August or something, and I've only had on like 5 times. It's powerful, but I just one of the reasons why I haven't moved any baseball over yet is on my laptop. I'm using the laptop screen and then an external monitor, but I haven't. I need to buy an external monitor to be able to start using the an additional monitor so I can monitor, chat, and talk to you guys. So that is really the only reason why this new PC doesn't have any baseball on it yet. So I'm mainly, doing things like playing No Man's Sky and stuff like that on it until I can rustle me up another monitor, and then I'll be moving everything from this laptop and then cleaning it off and actually even moving the software over, because this new PC I have is powerful, so it'll be able to handle it all. Not that this can't. It's a 5-year-old PC with a GTX 1660 Ti. It can still run so many games very, very well. It's very bloated, And if you're a musician, or you do any sort of like, maybe even graphics creation and stuff like that, your PC is going to get a workout. All right. So Chris said going to stop. He's probably going to get the new Action PC game and use Steve Tate's 3 years franchise mods for full 162 games. You can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong with a Chris. Yeah. So it's tough to be involved in commenting on comments. I get so involved, I forget to look at comments. Well, and I mean it's and let's face it, if we had our choice, I know certainly I would love to just be able to do this full time. Doing 3, 4 baseball broadcasts a day, and then branching off into other channels and doing other things, a channel about sleight of hand magic or music theory or game or non-baseball gaming. Yeah, but the sad fact is we also have our real things, the other things that we have to do. But I mean, because you can make this a full-time job, and the guys that are doing it, some of the big YouTubers, that I've seen interviews with, and they've talked about, this is not an easy job because content is king. You got to keep doing it. And, you maybe take a day off or two here and there, but, it's very, very demanding. And, this is a very small family we have. I looked, we have 707 family members, I believe right now, which I'm like that. I'm chuffed. I think that's awesome. Um, and that said, I never ever want. This is not going to be. If I wanted to get serious about YouTube, I would go out there and make a different channel for all kinds of content and try to make money from it. My goal with this, and again, I call it a family, not a channel. My goal is this is just for us to hang out, talk baseball, play baseball, nonsense, have a laugh, and go from there. We do have guys in our community that are monetized, and I have no problem with that. Good for them. If you can make what, as Al Red Sox fan said last night, a shekel, more power to you. I don't want to get into that Patreon and members only stuff like that. And again, guys that do it, awesome. I don't knock you guys, but I want to keep this free always. And I know RGL Network has said the same thing, because YouTube, recognizing the value of small, we'll use the term this time, small channels, that when you aggregate all things together, they're also making money and can make money from us. But I don't want to create content. Would it nice to make a few bucks, have a little Patreon? Yeah, sure. Who doesn't want a few extra bucks here and there? But to have to create where and I'm not going to do that, by the way. I don't have anything like that. I don't even ask you guys to like and subscribe. I've never ever asked for that, and I never will. But I'll see some people, and it's not just in our community. They're all over, where it's like you'll look at content and it's like, oh, you have to pay for this content, and I don't want to do that. Or the super chat thing. I don't want somebody to have to pay, $5 through PayPal or Venmo or whatever just to make a comment on a stream. I just don't. That's me. But back to what Paul had to say about the manual game entry. If there's any man that can really, really speak to this, it is Paul. It's definitely Paul, because of his, it's an underrated title there in Pocket Pennant Run Baseball, play tester. Paul has been the sort of, he's been the genesis of a lot of great ideas that have made Pocket Pennant Run the amazing piece of baseball software, board game assistant, whatever that it is. And one of those is the manual entry. I love Digital Diamond Baseball, but the syntax gets a little weird for me. And so for me, I want to be able to point, click, go. I don't want to sit there and figure out what's going on. That said, I'm still going to be buying Digital Diamond Baseball, and I'll still fight with the syntax. And for 95% of the plays, it doesn't matter what game you're playing with Digital Diamond. But there are those weird things like, how am I going to batter hits one into the gap, and There's, whatever. Think of the most complex plays, and there's syntax for it, but nah, blah. Yeah. So as Chris says, yep, I do this to have fun and let people enjoy the game. As I was saying last night before we signed off, we went almost 5 hours last night. We had Robert on here. We had Tribe Fan 879 Tim, and our Red Sox fan came in. It was a blast last night. It's always an open mic here. And he and I were talking about why we do what we do. And I remember something that the guy I call the heart and soul of this family, cousin Ken Castro, told me, because there was times I just wanted to chuck it in. And in fact, there were 2 separate years since this channel or this family started that I did take a hiatus. They were complete years off. I didn't do anything. But he said, for some people, he said, what you do, he said, and what you guys do here, broadcasting these baseball games and whatever, that might be something in their day. That's their contact. That's their way to, that's the thing they're looking for that helps get them through the day, or in many cases gets them through the day. And that really struck me deeply, because one of the reasons I'm a magician, and yeah, I like to make money from magic, certainly, and that's what I'm hoping to transition back into. But even so, I love doing charity gigs and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I'm not Chris, I'm not Legends, I'm not the like our Red Sox fans, Ron Juckett, the guys who can call a damn game, and you feel like you're in a game. I'm not that. I don't have that talent. But if what the madness that we've created here, all of us, if that made somebody maybe facing some health issues or financial issues, or just is having just a crap day, and we made that person smile or laugh, or maybe in our little baseball talks sometimes, or our big chin wags, and they come away, yeah, geez, I haven't thought about that certain game or whatever, or this certain thing that happened. We were talking a lot about last night, managers, that were characters in baseball, and how Al rightly states. I mean, that's really missing in baseball, not only managers, but players as well. And so that's why I do it too. If somebody goes away and says, man, that was fun. Beatles is weird, but that was fun. And I may never, ever see that person, may not ever know what they look like, may never hear that person's voice. But if we collectively here in our banter and our interaction, if we've touched somebody's life positively, that's huge. And so that's why I want to keep doing this, man. It's fun. Chris says it's supposed to be an exchange. We get involved and we see what others do. And that's another great point. And that's why I like that Jack Dawson always keeps me up with what's going on, not only in comments on videos, but also in Discord. I love it. I want to hear more. And in fact, I was talking, and so please, here's some comments. Leave them in the comments for this video. I want to find a way, even though I don't really play cards and dice baseball right now, and you guys know why, it's just a logistic thing. That I want the cards and dice players to feel more part of this, because I know it's all this digital baseball and stuff going on. So that's one of the reasons why I'm maintaining subscriptions both to Apago and to StratMax, and also playing Pocket Pennant Run, because the only thing I'm not doing is rolling dice. But basically, you're still seeing the cards and still that. So that's at least a compromise. And people seem to like it, which is cool. It's not the same as watching Al or Robert. I know that. Let's get to another one here. So we haven't seen Mike Cost in a while. Blue Rose case. It's been far too long. And there's AP. How you doing, man? It's great to see you. Great to see you. That's the paycheck, says Chris. Make a day. We never know who listens. I did tell Sharif, the president of Pakistan, a student parent conference, about our Tree 3 conversation. I love that conversation, man. That was so much fun. And we are educating people. But yeah, Tree Three, baby. We're gonna have to do Tree Three Part Two sometime, and maybe like explain to people, show some graphics about what Tree Three is, so that we can make some minds implode. We could also talk about Rayos number, which dwarfs Tree Three, by the way. I don't know if you know about Rayos number, Rayos, Rayos number. So check that one out. Um, Tree Three makes a little more sense to me because I'm not sure what Rayos number really is supposed to represent, but it is the largest number used in a mathematical context. So, AP doesn't play cards and dice. Yeah, I mean, I would play more if I had the room. I just don't. So, Strat Max and Appa and Pocket Pennant Run let me do that. So, but when I say on here, guys, what are you rolling up? I really want to know. I really want to know, what are you doing? I don't care. It might seem to you that it's pedantic or it's just run. It's not. If not, tell me about it. I mean, I love it. I mean, Jack. Although Jack, I mean, love the dude, man. Jack will have like 6 simultaneous replays going. I don't know how he does it, but keep it up, brother. And Aaron Reed will talk about what he's doing. Whether he's using Pure Sim Baseball, Action PC Baseball, or Baseball for Windows. I love to hear, and the community loves to hear about it. Maybe what you're rolling up, you're saying, I think I'm going to do I'm going to, the obvious example, I'm going to take the 1967 season, and damn it, I'm going to take the Red Sox to the World Series, and they are going to win the World Series. And maybe in your replay, Tony C doesn't get, that awful beaning or whatever. But you know what? Maybe somebody else might say, you know what? What a great idea, except I want to take 1967 with another team, and I want to challenge the Red Sox in the American League. There's a third place team here, and maybe you spark an idea, and that sparks more. And Chris and I are both educators. We can tell you that the best learning environment is what we term a constructivist learning environment. And in that respect, as you're sparking more and more and more ideas, you get this amazing synergy, and it enriches whatever field of human endeavor in which you're involved. I'm sure there were probably mafia guys that sat around, talked about original ways of whacking out rats and stuff like that. So who knows, man? I don't know. Chris says, I didn't tell him about the drunk stream about Afghan cricket. That's probably a good idea, man. AP says, I have three replay sims that he's currently playing, one for baseball, one for hockey, and the other for basketball. So that's really, really cool. So right there, that statement that AP makes, there's a whole conversation right there. And we'll put them to work here a little bit. So what are the sims? What are the projects in those three sports? Love to know. People want to know. Come on. There are conventions out there. People go to APA conventions. They go to Strat conventions. They go to Dave and Ron's, the Digital to Dice Con, and right. And what are you doing at these things, man? You're going and you're rolling up games, and people love it, or you look at opening day, quote unquote, at Strat, up there in Horsehead, New York, and you see just people just lined up in the cold waiting for Strat. You see the big APA get-togethers and stuff like that. We're doing it here, but we're doing it virtually. So would love to know what you're doing. So baseball is the 1985-7 using box seat baseball for the PC. So synergy, I got to look into box seat baseball. I know people have mentioned it a bit, and I think we talked about it on here, but I think I need to keep revisiting that game as it seems to be, yeah. So that is cool. Now, while AP's typing, and we do have our cumulative 12-second delay here, a Blue Rose case again. Mike, I don't know where you've been, man, but hopefully you get around here. But 2 days ago, he says, against his better judgment, laugh out loud. He says that he splurged on the year subscription with the current discount. So he's talking about Strat Max. He says, so with the discounts, about $120. He says, I have a huge place in my heart the cards and dice versions of Strat I played as a kid, and their PC game obviously doesn't fill the void. And yeah, it doesn't. But with the addition of the nice high res cards images to Max now, this finally intrigues me. Also, seeing your last few sessions playing it pushed me to make the purchase. Overall, I really like it. There are some areas that need improving. I really hope they continue development because there's such a massive potential here. I hope they drop the prices a bit, though. I don't see myself paying $20 a month or 200 years, however, at $200 a year, however. Agreed. Right now I want to keep both, but one of them's going to have to go if it becomes a bit of a burden. But right now, and I know it would seem silly, for somebody that tends to buy baseball games where I can just get all the seasons at one go, or at least get them whatever. That's why I really wish Cyrus would come in here sometime from National Pastime 3, or if somebody would please kindly get the word to him, or I'll send him an email. The next game I want to go all in on is National Pastime 3, but $30 a season, I can't do it. And they've got everything available from 1901 on. But holy moly, man, I don't really feel like taking out a personal loan just to be a completionist. Mike continues, though. He adds to his post, he says, just to add, it's getting harder and harder, pardon me, to decide where to dedicate his gaming time. And he mentions Out of Park Baseball, Action PC, and Digital Diamond have been his mainstays. He says this throws a big wrench in that lineup. So you know what? It is very, very true, right? It is this sense that we were talking about last night, that we are spoiled, man. We're spoiled for just all these games that we can play. And right now, I could tell you guys. All right, here's a list of 20 games that I could play on here. Pick one, pick teams, let's rock. I mean, holy shit. So for you guys that grew up playing just cards and dice and, right, and enter the hobby that way, I mean, for the longest time, you basically had Appa and Strat. They were the most visible. They were around the longest, right? And so you chose. But now, there's it's this amazing cornucopia of these everything from excellent to good baseball sims. Sports Illustrated Baseball getting resurrected, right? You've got Mark Annison with his SI Baseball, Richard Dombrov, of course, with Dombrov Baseball, integration of SI Baseball into Digital Diamond or 14, I believe it is. So through this medium, we're able to bring back these baseball games that many of us never got to play, and even digital games too. I've got Full Count Baseball sitting on here. Love it. I want to get back to a one that Clinton had commented about 6 days ago. He says, "No, the feeling I've never have asked anyone to like and subscribe. You either like it or you don't." He says, "I never broadcast for anybody." So I would differ there, but that's okay. I broadcast for the fun of it. Yep, to throw comedy in there with the newspapers, or if I can find radio commercials of the era. I enjoy the games I play and I like to show them. He said, when I found Delphi Forum, I found my media. I prefer the written word. I don't mind watching, and if I can help with the facts, which he does, then I'm grateful you allow me to present them. Always. I mean, always. So Ian Chow needing the Discord server. So Ian, we got to remember the time when John is in here and you're in here, because every time I send an invite link, the damn thing never works. So actually, John did reply. He put it in there. Thank you, John. You are a prince, brother. Okay. Let me see. What have I ever tried 4th Street Baseball? I have. AP. Back Robbie Wartburg, may his memory be eternal, was trying to get me into 4th Street Baseball. Looks like a cool game. My problem is the pricing model was at that time. Now maybe I need to get back and revisit it, but the pricing model at that time was for what the game offered, and even comparing it to games that I don't play. Like I don't play PC Replay Baseball only because the game doesn't click with me. I felt he was asking way too much, and he was the new kid on the block. Now I'm seeing more and more people talk about Fourth Street Baseball, so maybe I need to revisit it because I haven't looked at it in 3 years. So maybe now is the time to jump in because I am looking. I haven't gone all in on a game where you have to buy every season since Action PC Baseball, and and if I don't find that next game, all right, I guess I won't. But National Pastime 3 really intrigues me. Yeah, there are freeware baseball games out there and stuff, but um, there's something about that. It's so old school looking. There's nothing, it's not flashy like Strat Max or anything like that, but it looks deep, and I want to play it. But I'm one of those guys. And I'm going to own it, guys. I am an impulsive buyer, and I'm a completionist. And if I buy a baseball game, I wish I was more like baseball demos who just came in, right? Who he can be like, yep, no, these seasons are enough. Mike Silva will say, yeah, these seasons are enough. I'm not like that. I've got a very addictive personality and a completionist personality, and so but I look at those prices, $30 a season, and you know you're looking at about a $4,000 investment. And yeah, I did that with Action PC Baseball, but I did it through a combination of not only Dave's prices, non-sale prices, just really better than everybody else's, the charge for seasons, but so many sales and stuff like that. And I do know Cyrus offers a thing that if you complete, because in National Pastime 3, you have to play every game. There's no autoplay in that. So you have to actually play every game. You send them proof. And I think you finish 2 and you get 1 free or something like that. So there is that. But I would really just like to, I just wish Cyrus would say, okay, I'll tell you what, man, I realize the $30 a season, I'll knock 20% off per decade. I would do it. I really would do it. Because I always have this bad habit. I've got to quit smoking. And what better way to quit smoking? It's like, well, I got to quit smoking so I can afford baseball seasons. So there's that. But not belly aching, man. I'm very blessed, very, very blessed, and especially blessed having you guys hanging out, man. This is the best. National Pastime 3. Um, so Andrew says 10 of us went out to dinner together, and the waitress thought we were old friends because we were so at ease with each other, just because of gaming, either dice or PC. And really, you think about it, Andrew, you've nailed it. I'm gonna comment that one because when in a time, and I'm going to be very careful, I'm not going to get political here, but we are living in a time of great divisiveness. We are, um and I'm not placing the blame on either side, but it is a fact, whether you're on the left or you're on the right, we are terribly, terribly, tragically divided even. um but to be able to come together, no matter what our political sensibilities, maybe what our belief systems are, you know I mean, just to put, here it is. Okay, so I'm a Christian, but of one of the apostolic faiths, right? The ancient apostolic expressions of Christianity. I'm Eastern Orthodox, and I grew up Catholic. Those are the two old churches, right? We could have folks in here that are non-denominationals, folks in here that are agnostics. We have Jewish people here. We probably have Muslims here, man. But you know what? It doesn't matter because we come together, as Andrew says, in this thing that we love playing. And I'll broaden it out for you guys. For me, it's just baseball, right? But there are 10 people that got together, right? And a waitress was like, "There's a bunch of college buddies here." And it was just about the games that bring us together, because at the end of the day, these games are about having fun, and they create that kind of fellowship, personship, whatever you want to say. I love that. I absolutely love that. So AP says national pastime for PC looks great, but the seasons are expensive and they never have sales. Yes, they never do. I know that there's national pastime next generation plus out there. It's cool, but I don't want to do I don't want to play. And as much as I love Green Fox is really cool, and we'll do another video on it. I don't want to play baseball on an Excel spreadsheet. I just don't. It looks fun. I think they've done a great job to try to make National Pastime Next Generation Plus as immersive as possible. But my mind can't divorce itself from what my eyes are seeing, and that's Microsoft Excel. I've got to use that at work to run reports. I don't want to use Microsoft Excel to play a baseball game. And I just learned recently there's like an esports thing. There's like this whole sub gaming culture, if you will, um, of Excel. And apparently you can make some of these amazing games in Excel. I'm sure you can, but that's just not for me. I want to play a game that's made to be a baseball game. And um, Diamond Mine Baseball, unfortunately, they don't have all the seasons available. I have a lot of product for it, and I really thought it was going to be that it was going to be my next. Okay, I'm going all in on this. But their release schedule is so erratic, and going back in time, there's just a lot of things that they haven't released. And I'm like, why not? Um, but I love their all-time great player sets, the all-time great teams. You can buy all the all-star games. Every season they're super cool there at Diamond Mine from 1871 to 1926. People made us homebrews because they weren't available and still aren't, for quite a chunk of those years. And Diamond Mine is very cool with leaving those free. A lot of companies would be like, get rid of that now. Sorry, but we have our own official product. But they're just it's not stable enough for me to say, okay, I'm going to go all in on Diamond Mine Baseball. I love it, but I have enough Diamond Mine Baseball to create what if projects from now until three times that the universe resets itself. So National Pastime 3 is beckoning, but yeah, oof, a little bit high, a little bit high. David, how you doing? He said, first world problems, so many choices. How about it? So AP says, and welcome in, David. So we had David on last night. In fact, David really Tabby's servant. And so if you guys can handle the best part of the entire, of course, having these guys on, Al and Tim and David, but the highlight of the show, and which is why I think we drew one of the biggest crowds ever last night, was Tabby was on. So I think it's around the 2 hour mark or so. So just DVR forward there or whatever, and just glory and the wonderfulness. And I have to say this a little bit more quietly because my two cats will get really upset. The official YouTube sports gaming community cat, Tabby herself. Um, that was a lot of fun. But yeah, so many choices. And while we got David here, so tomorrow, you guys, he's going to be doing a game in 1908. So around noon, he'll be doing his 9 a.m. So two broadcasts tomorrow from David, who is enjoying also the manual entry and Action PC. And David's tough. He's discerning, man. AP said I'd like to know more about who makes sports games with Microsoft Excel. We'll start with National Pastime Next Generation Plus, and get into that game. I mean, it's cool. I just don't want to. For me, it's just I want a baseball game to look at a baseball game. And David says, I wonder if Stratomatic is giving a political nod and that the left of the card is blue while the right side of the card is red. Oh man, hey, who knows? Who knows? I'm not going to dare say which side they have a preference, right? Because most people in the world, right, we read left to right, unless unless you speak Hebrew, or Hindi, right, or Sanskrit is right to left, and whatever. So one could argue. Now I'm a liberal, so I'm not going to argue this, but one could say, oh yeah, what was it? Winston Churchill famously said that when you're young you're very, very idealistic and you're a liberal, and as you get older and wiser you become a conservative. um, for me it was the exact opposite. I'm actually more liberal now, I've always been a liberal my whole life, but I'm far more liberal now than when I was 20. So, but maybe Strat is trying to do this little subliminal thing, like, yeah, you're going to kind of start out a liberal, but then you're going to be a conservative. I don't know. Because again, a person who reads Sanskrit or Hebrew or Arabic would look at that and say, oh, so I'm going to start out with a conservative and my parents is, but I grow in and whatever, make my own choices. I'm going to become more liberal. So I don't know, David, but only you could come up with such a thought. I love it. Um, and and then D. Scott Howard says, looking forward to the payoff pitch PC game this spring. Another choice. Yeah. So the only playthrough or whatever demonstration I've seen of that so far. It's a great channel, and I mentioned him last night. Not a lot of people, I guess, but Baseball Maelstrom. I know he stopped in here a few times, but um, I just found it his demonstration of payoff pitch, and it looks really, really, really good. You hover over the players' names, you get the card. The cards are done just they're so crisp, so clear. The field display is excellent. That's going to be incredible. Um, that's going to be something I'm going to buy, and you'll be able to do manual entry or entry, just let the computer do it or whatever. That's yeah. D. Scott Howard, thank you for reminding me about that. Payoff pitch, guys, is coming to PC. Don't know when, but it's coming. It's coming. So, what I would like to see, but again, because we're geeks in a sort of geek hobby, right? Gaming is still a geek thing, even though it's cool, thanks to Big Bang Theory. But what we do, right? The D&D players look at us like we're weird. Trust me, because I do D&D, and they're like, "Yeah, what else gaming do you do?" Oh, I play action RPGs, and I play this, and also, I do baseball simulation gaming. Like, what? They don't get it. Just like the mainstream world never got. What's the idea of a bunch of guys rolling dice and saying, "Oh, I've slain the dragon," or Fizbin? For those of you who get the Fizbin reference, you got to be a long time computer game player to get Fizbin. Um, so they don't get it. But you know what? Where my mind is going in this is I look at things like Tabletop Simulator and Tabletopia, and you can find APA Baseball. I forget on which one, and I think it's Tabletop Simulator. And what I'd love to see is for somebody to take some of these games that maybe don't exist anymore, or we're only seeing in digital, but maybe like take something like Sports Illustrated Baseball, or maybe how about some of those old baseball spinner games and do them in Tabletopia or do them in Tabletop Simulator, bring them back. It's not like Payoff Pitch is some defunct game. It's a very popular game, and I'm glad to see it coming to PC. I just hope they're going to be. I hope the prices for their seasons are going to be, not. I know a lot of work goes into, but I hope they won't be terribly astronomical. Um, but yeah, good stuff. So let's flip over here to Apago Baseball. I'm going to go ahead and close my YouTube tab. So we got Apago. I love both of these games. I love Apago and I love StratMax. And so, are you guys out there? Anybody playing? Anybody playing StratMax? I might get a couple guys in the comments. I mean, playing it, but are any of you guys playing this? I realize the subscription fees or the paying monthly is a thing, and I believe me, I understand that. Um, but just curious if anybody's playing and what you think. I'm loving it. This is giving me a chance to go back to my university days when I started playing cards and dice baseball. It's like, man, now I can play. I can play app. I can play Strat again, and I love it. I love it. It's not gonna take away from the joy that I feel playing Action PC and Out of the Park and Baseball for Windows, things like that. But I really love that these two, the Strat Max and Apago, exist, and I know Dynasty League has something very similar too. So just curious if anybody's playing these, and what you like, dislike about them. We used Strat Max the other night to kind of put the manual entry of Action PC Baseball through its paces, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, doing that. getting the lineups ready and doing it on Strat Max, and then entering the plays in Action PC Baseball, because we can just sit there and guess and guess and guess, but I wanted to see what would happen in an actual game situation. And I've never done that, and I won't do that now with Pocket Pennant Run. It's just at that time I wasn't subscribed to these things, but I want to do the same with Pocket Pennant Run too. Andrew says, he's got to agree. Looking forward to Payoff Pitch PC. That's going to be great. I didn't get any sense of a release date or a release window, but hopefully next year. Hopefully, you're so D Scott saying in the spring. I hope so. Man, then what do we got in the spring? Digital. Then we're gonna have like another December, right? Because we're gonna have Digital Diamond Baseball version 14, Out of the Park 27, and then the debut of Payoff Pitch. Holy hell! I'm telling you what, man. This is great, and it's not about more is better. It's about choices, right? As D. Scott Howard ends it, he doesn't say, "Oh, another one to add to my collection," but another choice. And I know a lot of people like Payoff Pitch Baseball, and if they get it right, they're gonna have a winner in their hands. So Andrew says it's going to be around the start of baseball season. Looking forward. And if it clicks with me, I'll be buying it. Yep. Payoff Pitch PC game, have a computer AI manager. David, I'm the wrong person to ask. I think D. Scott and Andrew could speak to that better. I just watched one video on it from Baseball Maelstrom, so I don't know. I really, really, really don't know. So D. Scott telling us here that the dev is shooting for opening day. What a glorious opening day that's going to be, because by that time we're going to have Out of the Park 27, and we're going to have Digital Diamond 14 and Payoff Pitch all on opening day. It's gold, baby. It's gold. It's gold. I don't know if it's going to have an AI or not. Be interesting to see. I've talked about the AI both in AppAgo and in Strat Max with respect to dead ball baseball, and I got to say that just when you get past the dead ball era, both of these games play an excellent game of baseball. You're playing dead ball era baseball though. AppAgo's got the edge. I hope that Strat can work on the dead ball thing. It doesn't play it as well. This plays aggressively as it should for dead ball baseball. But Strat Max definitely is more kind of in that 21st century kind of almost baseball mode, where I had a runner on third and one out, and I didn't even try. I mean, just even basic baseball things that you would do. It wasn't stealing. Where AppAgo, if you're playing dead ball baseball, it's going to steal bases. So not saying Strat Max is not as good. It's a very, very good baseball game. It's just my criticism of Strat Max is it doesn't play dead ball baseball well. Not yet. So that's that. Out of the Park, definitely. Yeah, I would say if we're talking about comparing Out of the Park baseball and Action PC as far as dead ball baseball, Out of the Park definitely has the edge. Definitely, Action PC can do it, but you got to tweak it a bit more. Out of the Park, you don't have to touch anything, and it's going to play it right. So I totally agree with you there, John. D. Scott Howard says Dave Gardner did a show with the programmer with him. Good look at the game. I'm going to have to dig that up and see because I'm really interested. Andrew says, I believe it will have a computer manager. And again, so the developer was on with Dave Gardner. Was that fairly recently, guys? Because Dave's got, a gazillion videos. So if it's fairly recently, maybe when I end this, I'll watch that for a little bit while I'm working on this new coin magic thing effect. So yeah, well, so right now Ken and I are replaying the 1912 World Series, and I'm up 2-0 on him. I think he's been ducking me. I took a series from him. He did the pre-expansion all-time great Phillies, and I did pre-expansion all-time great Cardinals. And they've been good games though. But both of the games in the 1912 series were walk-off wins for me, so they've been tough. I'm just waiting. but I think that Portuguese punts is ducking me. That's what I think. He says he's not, but I think he's ducking me. Okay, last week or so. Thank you, Andrew. I will definitely look into that. Definitely look into that. So I don't know what else to say. I just want to thank you guys for coming in and whatever. I mean, if we can certainly do a game of something or whatever, or just not at all. But again, I'm hoping to make this. If no comments come in, then there won't be comments about comments. But I do hope to do this on Sundays so that we can get this get more organic interchange, interaction in the community. Because I think when people write, I know when I make a comment on a YouTube video, for a lot of the guys that I follow, and I'll see that like the video was posted 2 years ago. Look, the content creators probably, if it's a big one like Mortismo Gaming or something, or Splattercat Gaming, those guys aren't going to go back. And I can only imagine. I mean, Splattercat's almost at 1 million subscribers now, and I can't imagine that he's going through there every day, doing the 2 or 3 videos a day or whatever he does, plus Twitch streaming, and he's going to be able to answer comments, or whatever. So, and this channel is never going to be, or this is not going to be that big. Let's face it, we're so niche. But I would still hope that then this would be a mechanism to be like, I'm going to devote one day to just talking to everybody, addressing their comments, because you write a comment, you'd like it to be acknowledged. And I would just, just got to thinking through the weeks here that I'm like, people are engaging with me, man. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. But I'm thinking, all right, not everybody's reading those comments. And maybe somebody else might have an answer to their question, or they might say, hey, that's a pretty cool idea, or that's a great bit of input that you have there, if you will. So again, it builds community, it builds that constructivist environment. Okay, so okay, so 14. So that was just last week. Okay, cool. Thanks, Andrew. John says, which dead ball park is favorable to left-handed batter homers? Baker Bowl. Baker Bowl. Now, League Park in Cleveland would be another one, but the thing is so they built that high fence, but it had a very short right field porch. But they put this really, really high fence, and it was for a specific hitter, and I can't remember who it was, but the guy ended up hitting a home run over. But I would definitely say Baker Bowl for lefties would be a great choice. So, okay, so 12-11 payoff pitch PC beta. Okay, so they're in beta. Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. David talks about Dave Gardner. He says Gardner is gold. He could do a video on how to beat old ladies in bingo and get 3 times more views than the rest of us players talking baseball. Hey, you're welcome, John. Yeah, I mean, my favorite videos from Dave Gardner. If we're gonna have a Dave Gardner praise fest, that's fine with me too. My favorite videos of his of all time. Yeah, I love that he does baseball, even though he's not primarily a baseball fan. Although I suspect he is a baseball fan and he's just having us on. He is a baseball fan, but I mean, I think he's a more serious baseball fan than he lets on. But I think also, or I think that my favorite are the ones when he just talks about community, and he talks about why we game, and sometimes he gets into some things that can be, emotionally charged for people. And I like the fact that Dave has the courage and the compassion to do that. And I mean, organizing the digital Dice Con to try to bring people together. Yeah, Dave Gardner, our entire community without Dave Gardner would be, so Dave's gonna be around forever and ever and ever. That's just all there is to it. He's gonna be like Gandalf, right? So, not that he's an old dude, he's not. But yeah, Dave Gardner's amazing. Yeah, me either. I don't. Again, I'm not, and I know, John, that you're saying this and not as an attack on Dave. I don't like that either. But you know, if he chooses to do it, that's cool, and I can choose whether I want to watch that or not. But I'm glad that because he could have taken something. I mean, and there's an opportunity to right now if you think about it. But Dave doesn't work that way. That a lot of people would be anticipating payoff pitch coming to the PC, and he could have made that a subscribers only interview with the game dev, and he didn't. So yeah, I know you do, John. I think we all do. We all do, and I know you're not knocking him. There's a lot of people that don't like subscriber only stuff. A lot. In fact, I was watching one guy, not in our community, but it was another big gamer guy. I forget who it was now. And he was telling. Now remember, this guy's making his living with YouTube, and he's telling people, use Brave browser. He said, I have other ways I'm getting monetized. Use Brave browser so you don't have to sit through the stupid ads. So, whatever. But I don't think Dave is doing this for the reasons that he's choosing to do so, and he understands that people can make that choice. But what he's given to the community, um, that's all right. That's cool. And that if he's doing that, I don't like it, but that's no, of course, that's no reflection on Dave at all. None at all. He's awesome. Just for me, when he's doing a sports broadcast, I've got to tune in when it's either not about sports or it's about general gaming, or if he's doing baseball, because there's times when I'm in there and there's like lots of football and I'm just lost, like football. But that's Dave's awesome, man. Dave is awesome, and of course, we can't forget Ron Juckett either. And those guys put it, doing the whole digital to dice, and think of the guys that they've brought to the community that they've interviewed. You can't beat it, man. And ID Jester, on the other hand, can bring more people than any of us do, because ID Jester always manages to be wonderfully controversial. So love him too and miss him around here. I know he's still streaming, but so Andrew says that the Digital Dice Con last year went great. He was so nervous about it being successful, and he was nervous because he gives a damn. Exactly. So I'm glad it went well. I know Mike Sova went. He's going again. I'd like to get up there and do it, but yeah, channel memberships. That's yeah. Dave is a big. Well, doesn't he? Isn't that what he does? I mean, he actually works at a hockey rink. John says, I once supported someone's Patreon and not once did they ever thank me. So, yeah, I mean, again, that it's going to depend on that person. I used to be a channel supporter. This Canadian couple, and they're big board gamers. And I was a channel supporter for those for quite a while, actually. And, because I had just picked up like Gloomhaven. Now I have Gloomhaven now for the PC, but this is the board game. And I wanted to learn Gloomhaven, and you'll watch them do playthroughs of Journeys of Middle Earth and Lord of the Rings living card game, and they were actually super gracious. But the neat thing about them, and I can't remember the name of their channel, but they were just equally as gracious as whether you were a channel supporter or not. So these people did it right, and so I look for channels like that. If you give a damn and you say hi, and what I look for, do you say hello to the people who aren't don't have a channel membership? And Dave Gardner does that. He greets people. He doesn't look to say, is this guy a channel membership or is this guy a Patreon supporter? No, he says hi to everybody, and I love that. And our Red Sox fan the same way. He's only making a shekel, but he's a monetized channel. But Al doesn't. It's not like, okay, I'm going to look at these comments and, oh, sorry, you don't. You're not a member of my channel or whatever. No, he still greets and interacts with people. And boy, if having two mentors like that, those of us who came in doing this stuff after Al and Dave, I think Al really is the pioneer of it all, but Al and Dave and others, that's a blessing in itself as well. Stick Tap. He says, Stick Tap Sports Network, and guys, again, channel. Check it out there. Excellent. He says, next, a baseball sim only fans. Let's do it, man. Mike was one of the 10 guys you had dinner with. Cool. Yeah. We should have an OnlyFans. I don't know who's gonna show up, but I'm willing to give it a whirl. What the hell, man? David says he makes less than a shekel. Yikes. Okay. So yeah, I mean, because as Robert mentioned, YouTube is offering an early thing, like you can get monetized earlier, but I just said no, because you could choose, and I just said no. I think Dave Gardner's doing some big giveaway thing today, so just advance word. If I do a game, I don't like to. There's a lot of us doing this stuff now, but if I do a baseball game, you guys are at Dave Gardner's the baseball gaming thing, or the sport Christmas gaming, something that he's, and I'm going to hang out there for a while too. But if I decide I'm going to do a baseball game, please hang out there. I just do it and catch it later. That's the beauty of all this. It's not like you have to. Oh my God, I missed it. Besides, I'm not going to do anything that amazing anyhow. So I guess that's about all. I just want to get on here and do something. If I do come back in a little while, just because I want to practice some magic and hear some baseball, I'm either going to watch Dave Gardner's interview with about payoff pitch, or I might come back and let Ernie blast out a game or something. But thank you guys for the comments. Thank you for being here. Thank you for interacting, for being part of the family. Yeah, everybody have a great day. Absolutely. Maybe Tabby, if we had the baseball sim OnlyFans and Tabby was, oh my God, look out. We could all retire. We could all retire. But do we want to do animal exploitation? I don't know. Planning to do 1987 replay. What do I think about Outlaw Park baseball in 1987? I think it's good. I think you got to get your hands dirty with it. But it does have, just make sure you put that, if you're doing a single season replay, just select the single season rate, the strict replay mode. Because then, you're not going to get any sort of variance or something that you might with career mode. But boy, you couldn't go wrong with either that or Action PC Baseball for that matter. So yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, maybe we'll see some of you at Dave Gardner's shindig, whatever that kicks off today, if that's today. And maybe we'll see some of you back here later on today or this evening. And we'll actually do a baseball game. And I think tonight it's going to be, we'll use Apago this time with Action PC Baseball, and we'll do a game. All right. Till then, guys, thank you very much, all of you. And we will see you around the batting cage. All right. Bye-bye.